Hey, it's Kai. Today we are squeezing a whole table of numbers down into a single useful answer. Think of a giant pile of receipts, and all you actually want is the total. That's exactly what aggregation functions do, and by the end you'll reach for them without thinking. Aggregate is a fancy word that just means bunch together into one. Imagine emptying your coin jar and asking how much is in here, instead of naming each coin. So these functions look at a column full of rows and hand you back exactly one number. In short, many go in, one comes out. Count is the head count at the door. Count star counts every row, no exceptions. But here's the trick. Count of a specific column quietly skips the empty ones, the nulls. So if some phone numbers are blank, counting that column gives you fewer than counting star. Sum is the cash register tape adding everything into one total. Feed it a column of amounts 10, 20, 30 and out pops 60. Just remember it only works on numbers. In short, SUM answers how much altogether. AVG is like sharing pizza slices equally so everyone gets the same amount. It adds the column and divides by how many there were. 10, 20, 30 averages to 20, the fair middle. One heads up, it skips nulls entirely. It does not treat a blank as a zero. Min and max are just the shortest and tallest kid in the class photo. Min grabs the smallest value, max grabs the biggest. And they aren't only for numbers. On dates, min gives you the earliest and max the latest, which is honestly underrated for finding a first or last order. Let me show you the shape of this. Watch all these separate values funnel down into one result. Every aggregation function you learn does exactly this, collapse. They just differ in the math they run on the way down. Here's the one that bit me early on. I had a column with some blanks and assumed AVG would treat them as 0. It doesn't. It just pretends those rows aren't there. So 10, 20, 30 and a blank averages to 20, not 15. If you truly want blanks counted as 0, you convert them first with something like Qualys. People mix these two up constantly. Constar says 100 customers exist. Count of the phone column says 80 because 20 left it blank. Neither is wrong, they answer different questions. In short, star counts rows, a column counts the filled in values. Picture asking for one grand total but also the customer's name when there are 50 different names. The database throws up its hands because one answer can't sit next to 50. For now, keep aggregate queries pure. When you do want a total per customer, that's g.py and that's next lesson. You could pull every row into your app and add them up yourself. And sometimes that's fine. But my honest take, let the database do the counting. It sits right next to the data and returns one tiny number instead of shipping a million rows across the network. The minus side is SQL math is less flexible than a real programming language. So for weird custom logic, code still wins. These two feel similar but answer opposite questions. Count tells you how many orders, the answer is 3. Sum tells you how much money, the answer is 60. Whenever you're stuck, just say the sentence out loud. How many versus how much, and the right function picks itself. Clean. So there's your toolkit. Count for how many, SUM for the total, AVG for the typical value, and MIN and max for the smallest and largest. They all share one habit. They take a whole column and hand back a single answer, quietly ignoring nulls except for count star. Master these 5 and you can summarize almost any table. See you next time. If you're not subscribed yet, now's easy.